I started my full-time art career in 2020. For each year, I made a blog post on my website for what I learned that year, but since no one reads blogs anymore, here are some things you need to know right now to speed up your art career's progress. Before I even start talking about my career, I feel like I should talk about how I even got here in the first place. The fact of the matter is, I was lucky to be born in South America, and even though it's like living hell, it's the most favorable place for that type of thing. The currency makes it practically impossible to ignore the possibility of earning in dollars. I even have a degree in architecture, but when I was an intern, I jumped from office to office. The economy was a bit chaotic. People would hire me and fire me the next month because of bad management and bad leadership. I kept jumping from office to office, and well, if you think that the art commissions market is saturated, you should take a quick Instagram search for architecture offices. You'll be surprised with the amount of people offering the same exact service. Even though both art commissions and architecture blueprints are so different, there are a lot of similarities in the services. But since an art commission takes a way shorter amount of time and there's less hassle, I figure, well, it's way better for me to stay in this market. And well, there is no training to become an illustrator. You can go to art school, but nothing guarantees you come out on the other side with a portfolio that's ready for the industry. That's why it's so hard to create a community of artists. Art is made of specific skills people tend to acquire when studying alone. But maybe you want to join my Discord server because we've been creating a pretty amazing community there. I bet you'd love to be there. So right now, my income consists almost completely from art commissions. I've been trying to diversify my income streams by doing conventions and YouTube, but conventions have been really slow and YouTube, well, it's underwhelming. It's been really difficult to make any kind of significant profit from these both income streams. Even though with a freelancer job you can move to any part of the country you want, it's not all flowers. Because my country protects its economy so much, it's extremely expensive to order goods from China, for example. So I can't order those beautiful charms you see in conventions abroad, and it's really disappointing and saddening. The taxes, credit card charges, and air shipping makes the final prices so high. I have a hard time believing anyone would buy at all with the final prices. People don't care much about product quality here. They care about having something that has their favorite characters in. So I believe everything relies on luck, but if you're persistent enough and lucky to be able to keep going, you're going to succeed eventually. If you're turning into a freelancer like me, you're going to feel very lost at the beginning. And not just at the beginning. I still feel lost multiple times, and I have to go back to my goals and check what exactly I want to be doing. Even though, we don't exactly have control over things. But the truth of the matter is, even though social media is changing lately, the only thing you can do and you have control of is your own art improvement and the frequency of your posts. So I've tried posting on art forums, I've tried doing SEO to my website, I've tried blog posts, Patreon announcements, posting old art to alternative social media like Tumblr, Mastodon, Picardo, making faux wallpapers for people to subscribe to my newsletter, but nothing has made me gain as much traction as posting a new video here on YouTube or a new art piece in a widely known social media platform like Twitter or Blue Sky. And the truth of the matter is, making more art is inevitably the core of your business when you're an artist. Unless, of course, you're an art YouTuber and you make most of your income from YouTube sponsorships. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not my focus, at least for now. So when you're lost, most of the time the answer is to create more art, whether it's through studies, making sketches to post, or just filling your sketchbooks with doodles. This is what keeps the ball rolling and the commissions coming. However, there's a downside to this. Most of the artists that have been remembered by humanity to this day have a message that comes through their artwork. It's almost like all of them call back to the same narrative or a concept. And that concept can be their own personality or their own beliefs about anything in life, really. And that carries through their work and values all their pieces together. You can just make a buck from drawing cute anime girls if you want. People buy it. That's the way if you want to make it big. But however, bear in mind that if you're going to do that, you're going to blend into a mass of people doing the exact same thing, and the moment you vanish from the internet, people are not even going to remember you. Lately, I've been thinking about some existential questions about my work as an illustrator, like what binds it together into one big gallery instead of making individual pieces? Why does it exist? What do I do that no one else in the entire world can do, even if they try to copy me? If I make art and post all the time and don't have a life outside of it, am I not inevitably making it less special? So if you want to be remembered as an artist, it's not the execution of the artwork you should be focused on, but the research, thoughts, and experience behind it. You can be a drawing machine if you want, but for that, there is already AI. So how are you going to create a long-lasting career for yourself? You're going to be your social media manager, salesperson, HR, accountant. So therefore, you won't figure everything out on your own at once. I try to remind myself it's okay that I'm still learning, and the reason why I didn't know things at the beginning is because it's humanly impossible. Of course, you wouldn't have made that mistake if you knew that earlier, but sometimes you have to free yourself from the need of being a genius. If a friend of yours told you, I can pull that off despite not reading any books, you would feel helpless and say, wow, I wish I were that intelligent and naturally talented. But if that friend said, I can pull off that because I read a lot of books, I'm pretty sure your attitude would change completely. If I were you, trying to get into this industry and trying to become a freelancer artist, at the beginning, I would not find a hobby. Of course, I'm telling you guys to start taking care of your health and your mental health and your physical health, because that's really important. If you can't take care of your health at the beginning, you might find some problems later and you might not be able to go on. So definitely take care of your health, but do not find a hobby at the first years of your work. And in the first years, you're going to focus on studying art, marketing, putting commissions or products online, managing social media, posting, talking to clients. If that's not overwhelming for you, well, I don't know what is. Okay, I've been drawing for the longest time, so a weird thing that happens to me is that I don't have art blocks like most artists have. I can easily push through if I'm unable to draw something and finish the piece anyway, even if I have to redraw the piece a few times. My art blocks tend to be either emotional exhaustion for my career not going the way I want it to, or not being able to finish a piece I'm passionate about because I'm either overworked with commissions or underestimate how important drawing for myself can be. And because I've become faster and don't really think about how long it takes for me to finish a piece, I started making art pieces to farm followers. This was a bad decision in my opinion, because unless I got like 1,000 followers for one piece, this is working for free for a social media platform that is never going to compensate me. These pieces I made to farm followers on Twitter never even got me commissions. And if you guys are wondering about the monetization on Twitter, why would I pay to get monetized? Does that make sense for you? And these pieces are so platform specific that I can't even sell them at cons because no one knows the characters. At least I was lucky enough to use them to regrow my Blue Sky audience, but aside from that, the artwork has absolutely no other use. I should have drawn whatever I desired, so instead of just making artwork for free for a social media that would never compensate me, I wish I would have drawn for myself whatever I desired and used YouTube as a funnel top instead. It would have been so much more effective. And I wish I had like populated my social media with my OCs and made people want to draw them as well, because that's people spreading my brand for me, and that's where the magic comes in, is that people like your OC and they like your artwork, so they will spread your OC throughout the social media for you, and that's a very good marketing strategy. Make it about others first so it can come back to you. There's so many ways to interpret this. When I decided to start a YouTube channel, I found that the best way to grow a channel was to share value, like tutorials and how I do things. And you can make your own channel blow up even more if you deliver exactly what people are looking for at the moment. I spent years trying to find out how to make a client choose me when they had numerous other artists to commission from, and why so many of my friends would get loyal clients while I would only get one commission from a client and get followed by crickets. I would get so upset when a client came up to me while considering other options and they would choose someone else over me when I was clearly the best option they could go with, or at least that's what I believed. The truth of the matter is that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Care about them first, then they will come back to you. When I started to wonder how I was going to make it in an overcrowded social media, and my friend helped me out, she convinced me I had to make fan art for artists who are bigger than me so I could grow faster. At first, I thought the idea was a bit self-interested, but I tried it out. What harm could it make? I was deciding to gift other people, unlike a lot of other people who decide to engage in drama to receive attention, and these OCs were somehow seen as relevant to the platform. A lot of people knew and cared about them and wanted to see them drawn in different styles. Like I mentioned before, I did create art that I don't care about, but this lesson taught me something very important about online presence. It can't just be all about you, and people have to understand why you have value to them. As an artist, it's hard to have a sense of target audience. I think I only started mastering this skill when I started YouTube for serious. I'd heavily encourage you to try to pick a target audience in your day-to-day, try to create a profile of who they are and what they truly want to see from you, and use other people's content as reference for this as well. So one of the things that took the shine off my eyes about becoming an artist is when I realized it would be less glamorous than I thought. In my head, I was going to break into the industry and make art for big companies like MiHoYo, Hololive, EOStar, PIXIV, and so on. I thought that my VTuber OGs would notice me and want to order stuff from me, and my demand would rise in a way that I would turn into a superstar. Don't judge me, is that working for official stuff is something that makes me feel more important in some way. Fast forward 4 years, I still don't have a big social media following or relevant credentials, and I haven't been able to break into the industry yet. The only thing I ever got was stress that probably somatized and increased the chances of a disease in the future. The problem is, everything I mention here is milestones and not goals, because they don't depend on myself alone to come true. Sure, I can improve my art as much as I possibly can, the sky is the limit, but if no one hires me, well, there's not a lot I can do. They also depend on the stars aligning and me being in the right place at the right time, which translates to luck more than anything else. After years passed and I realized how long it would take for me to reach these goals, I started to become a bit sour with my career and the expectations started to become toxic. Then some of my friends introduced me to the SMART method. All your art goals have to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This method alone would lead us to another whole video, but this is a way healthier way to set goals as an artist. Now you are in control, and as your career evolves, you might start realizing the goals you set up for yourself are not realistic. Maybe you should start focusing on some other goal or change it in a way you can finally achieve it. I treated this as so important as if my life depended on it, and everything that I did before getting into the industry was like irrelevant and not valid. But let me tell you, the most important thing in your art career is having a base of clients that are so in love with you and your work that will always come back for your art. Ask the right people for advice or don't ask at all. One of these days, I asked some other artists for feedback in my VGen profile. Some people started saying it was a popularity issue, which is clearly not true because I have more than 200 VGen followers I can't convert into clients, no matter what. Then someone else started elaborating on how some of my commissions were in the wrong order, stating I should show my cheaper commissions first so the clients don't have to scroll all the way down to find something they can afford. Some other people mentioned I should organize my commissions in some other way, separating stuff in folders. I think these points are fair and I changed my profile accordingly, but I don't think they go to the root of the matter. So a few days after, I talked to a recurrent client of mine, sent him my terms of service and watched his reaction. He told me my terms of service were throwing him off for some reason, which made me realize things from a client's perspective. I probably have put off some of my potential clients with those terms of service. I do believe that people who are trying to help me were kind and they did make some good points, but if you don't ask the right person, you might never get to the root of the issue. I know this is going to be a bit controversial, but I believe if you're asking for feedback, ask the right person or don't ask at all. If you want a mentorship on your career, ask a successful artist or someone who has dedicated their life to research and offer practical advice and has proven examples of success with their work. I've been doing YouTube for 7 months and haven't asked for advice yet because I haven't found the right person to lead me yet. I probably have a long way to go to find someone who's willing to take some time to help me out. Misleading advice can make your art stagnate and even regress years. When it comes to art feedback, I believe it's the most sensitive field of them all. I do believe any other artist can help you make money better from your art, but misleading advice can make you completely lost, and sometimes can even make you go back into your skill. Ask the right person for the advice or don't ask at all. I live by this motto and it's helped me a lot. You are going to need marketing and sales skills. If you ever go to art college or university or just listen to art YouTube in general, a lot of people are going to say you have to make your art so good it's impossible to be ignored. Seriously, this phrase makes me so pissed. Let me give you my 2 cents on this. You can still be good and keep being systematically ignored. People who say this are the same that learn social media skills, blow up their accounts, make successful Patreon with more than 100 supporters, and they don't tell you how they did it. They simply pretend not to know that there are young artists that know how to use social media and blow up just with storytelling and engagement skills. Besides, what if new people keep keep coming for your art but never come back because you have a bad personality. Of course, being good helps generate desire, and that could lead you to more sales. Being able to do certain things that not a lot of other artists can pull off will also make you hire more easily. But marketing and sales skills are irreplaceable. I've heard of artists so good and so impossible to ignore that they had no idea how to make money off their art. Crazy, huh? But it happens. Imagine you have the skill to turn everyone that gets in touch with you interested in a commission into a loyal customer. That's how you make a buck as an artist. Keep that in mind. You're defined by the skills you have and not the skills you lack. I've mentioned this before in my channel, how artists get so caught up in what lacks for them to get to their goals that they forget the traits they already have might lead them to where they want to be. My theory is that because we need so much of other people's to see the value in our work in order to make money from it, we fill ourselves with insecurities and shut ourselves to any possibility of thinking we might be enough. I have so many friends that have been studying for years and delaying opening commissions that could easily be making money. They forget that as long as someone's willing to pay for their art, they're ready for commissions. Have you ever considered that, like, you could get one client, but if he comes back every month, you're already one step closer to making a living as an artist? Maybe the best way to find this out is to challenge yourself to do something and see if you can pull that off with your current skill. After watching this video, I challenge you to do something you don't believe you can do, and I'm pretty sure you'll be surprised by your skills. Stop being jealous of other people. You are going to need a group of friends. Humans have always needed others for survival, and if you want to survive in such a competitive field, you need the help of other people with the same goals. So many of you guys who watch my videos reach out for me to ask for help, like, do you know how to solve this, or can you give me XYZ? This makes me question, why are you guys not making friends to help you out? You guys are not bothering me. The problem is, I'm really concerned about you guys, okay? How do you think I have so much cool insight to share in my videos? If you guys are having a hard time making friends in this medium, in this other video I explain how to do this. And despite how much this can hurt, some of your friends will achieve further success than you earlier than you. And if you're like me and grew up believing you're a genius because of your upbringing, this is going to hurt much more. You have to swallow your pride and understand that if your friends are succeeding, this is the perfect time to ask them what they are doing and try to replicate that yourself too. I've never been okay in the position of needing help, and maybe that's a subject for therapy, but I forget at some point my friends have come this far because of what I've taught them. Okay, gather a community of not only other artists and creatives, but a community of clients. And I have to admit something, I failed at doing this, and that's why in this moment of crisis I'm really concerned about my bills. I've never been really good at talking to clients and dealing with people, and just because I teach you guys how I do things, it doesn't mean I have everything figured out. I've had so many clients in the past, but I always thought they were judging me by how fast I was getting their commissions done. But in reality, I think people would judge you more by how you make them feel instead. I would constantly question why my clients were not coming back. So another good tip I have for you guys is to ask your friends to make a Discord server with some of their closest clients and start sharing commission clients with them. There's a website that's exceptionally good for this, and it's Picardo. You can have like 4 live streams at the same time. You can live stream with your friends, and your clients and your community can be in the chat, so you can share clients with each other. If one of your friends has commission closed, your clients can commission you instead, and so on. In this process, I found out I like being around you guys more than I like being around clients, and because of that, I'm thinking of offering things like mentorships in the future to really help you guys one-on-one to where you want to get with your art. The problem is I don't really consider I've gotten that far. I've been feeling really empty lately because all I do is work and I barely get any time to consume anything at all. YouTube has been a way for me to draw a little less and make drawing more special for me, but I still can't run away from these issues. I've probably allocated my efforts towards the wrong things at some point, and I still haven't figured out things fully. I don't have a lot of achievements to show, so I don't believe I will be acting in good faith offering you guys a mentorship right now. So I think I should focus on breaking into the industry first. So one of the goals of this YouTube channel is to find people who can find me break into the industry as a freelance illustrator. So if you are someone who's working for the industry as an art director or maybe as an artist yourself, please let me know, maybe send me an email if you're willing to help me out with that. I'm making these videos to legit help people out for free because I've been where you guys are and I still consider myself broke, so all the knowledge I've gained through the years has been through cheap courses, books, and mentorships. and I hate overpriced stuff. So a considerable number of you guys have been interested in a mentorship from me, so please let me know in the comments what would you think a good price for a monthly mentorship to help you guys out would be. If you'd like to get more in depth about catering a community as an artist and doing proper marketing for your work, you should consider watching this video next, and I hope to see you there.